don't have to go and live in a hut in the tundra to play an accountant. If there's a technical aspect to a character that needs to be sorted out, then I will take care of that. But the rest of it, I just look at the script and ask the director questions. I used to do that. I used to do it when I was younger, because I thought you had to. Because De Niro did it, so all these actors, would go out and sort of, hang out with cops and get under their feet. But I never. I just thought this is all very silly. For me, it doesn't. I sort of just go on instincts. My agent said it to me and said, "Have a look at this," and I just, by the time I was halfway through it, I reaching for the phone. So I really want to do this. This is great stuff. And they hooked me up and had a meeting with them. I remember meeting with Quentin, and I think he was asking me to look. He said, "What do you think, Mr. Blonde or Mr. Pink?" At that time. And I wanted to play Mr. Orange because it was an acting job, because it was not only an Englishman playing an American, but then it was the character was a cop playing a villain, so it was performance. And then he was actually the good guy, which was an interesting departure. He was, but within that world, he was the bad guy. So it was all kind of multi-layered, which I liked. I liked that character. It's deceit. I used to have to audition. When you first start, you do, and if I figured out I was losing 50% of the jobs by auditioning, and the other 50% I was getting, so I figured, well, screw it. I'll stop reading, because it's a horrible thing that people have to go through, actors have to go through. So I just put an end to it. And after I got a few films under my belt, I thought, well, they can just go and have a look at them. If they like them, they can hire me. If they don't, then they don't. And I meet with them. I meet with directors. I love meeting directors. But but just the auditioning thing, I just don't want to have to go through that anymore. But it's true. I don't do it. I still don't do it. So Brian Cox asked me to do a read-through of a film that he's trying to get off the ground, and the other day, and I said, I can't. I'll ruin it for you. So I'm really very, very bad at it. It's not for sort of egotistical actor bullshit reasons. It's actually because I'm crap at it. And so I went in there and I said, I won't read. And then we ended up, Harvey was there, and we ended up going to the deli, and Harvey was really trying to get me to read, and I wouldn't. And then Harvey split, and then me and Quentin had a few beers, and then we went on to this pub that I used to go to called Coach and Horses on Sunset. And we drank some more. It was getting late, and we were smashed to bits. And I said, I'll read anything for you. So he started writing the script out on beer mats and napkins and stuff. And that didn't work, so we went and got some more beers across the road at 7-Eleven. And we went back to my apartment, and I had the script, and we read everything about 5 times. But we were so gone. So that's the only time I've read for years. Yeah. Yeah, but I have worked with sort of young directors and first timers plenty of times. That never worried me. It still doesn't worry me. I sometimes think they're a damn sight better than directors who've made plenty of films. He was this complete bundle of energy, and he'd seen films that I didn't expect him to have seen, like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern and stuff like that, and The Hit. I think I thought he was fascinating, and I thought it would be a great ride. I was really, really enthusiastic about it. When you're directing, you have to be 10 different directors. If you have 10 different actors, you have to be 10 different directors too. I think that's generally the case. And they're all very, very, very different. But he has an air about him of kind of eccentricity, but it was very much hit the ground running. I mean, you get in the morning and look over what you're going to do for the day. Have a bit of breakfast, put your costume on it, and then it's high energy from then on in. Very much like any interview you'll see with Quentin, that's kind of how he is on set. Which was, by the end of it, you're exhausted, but you're thrilled. It was, He does a very bad English accent, Quentin, and he considers himself to be an authority on English accents, and it's almost as good as Dick Van Dyke's, but not quite. There's a lot of blood in that film. I think there's only nine pints in a body. I think we had about 4 gallons on the floor, or 5 gallons. Yeah, he used to have to hose you down because you're laying on the floor, and then it starts to set. So they have to sort of scoop me off the floor and then take me outside and hose me down so I get my costume off and stuff. At the end of every day, Mike joined me. Luckily, at least I had one kind of person that joined me, because when I shoot him in the film, he ended up lying in a pool of blood, which was great. So they used to scrape him off the floor as well. So at least someone else had to go through it. I remember not thinking I wouldn't like Mike before I met him. You know, he's Mr. Cool, and falling in love with him. Actually, I think it was one of the kind of enduring memories is with him. I really liked him a lot.
He spent a lot of time in jail.
I think he was arrested for impersonating an actor, wasn't he? One time. The most challenging was the dialect and trying to get that right, because it's kind of embarrassing when you're doing dialects. If you're at the beginning, when you're new, it's a bit embarrassing really. And doing an accent, amongst people who have that accent and they're checking you out. And the system that I like to use is start 3 weeks beforehand, breaking down the script just into sounds and stuff. And it was Suzanne Celeste, who is actually in the film. And she was my dialect coach. And we worked 3 weeks beforehand, and then she's on set every day with the headphones and listening and making notes about what sounds are wrong for the sound people, for editing and so on. And then through filming on set every day that I'm on set, and then in looping afterwards, in revoicing afterwards. So we just do the whole thing. But she was driving me up the wall. She drove me crazy. It's brilliant. I used her many, many times. She drove me crazy. So I got her the job of the woman who shoots me, and I shoot her, which was great. But no, that's how I deal with it. I work very hard at it, and you have to have a fairly good ear. That was the most challenging. The rest was fun, I have to say. I mean, there were days when it was painful and monotonous, which is what filmmaking mostly is, as far as acting side is concerned. But we did laugh a lot. We thought. I remember looking at Harvey one day, and he said, "What do you think?" I said, "I think it's pretty good." He said, "Shh, don't say it too loud." Yeah, no, don't let anyone know, because you don't want to jinx it. But we did feel it was we were part of something good. It was a good film. It would be a great tale. Yeah.